Welcome to another brand new episode of Undisputed Anime Podcast. This is the podcast where we love to give you updates on new anime coming out, reviews, rants, and so much more. Be sure to make sure to smash that like button and subscribe and follow on your favorite podcast platform. I am one of your hosts, Zane Taichou, captain when it comes to anime recommendations. I need to put my teeth in this morning because words are escaping me like crazy. As always, I'm joined by my best of friend, Susu Day.
Hello.
For audio listeners, Susu Day had a Gundam or Gunpla in his hands that just levitated into the screen.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm not too bad. I'm rocking the winter cardi once again.
I've never seen you look this festive.
Thank you.
It's almost like they finally ground down your resilience and made you participate.
They got me. They finally got me. Well, it's either that or, you get ridiculed of being the one not wearing festive clothing.
Revel in their hate. Use it to power you.
I'm just not that guy anymore. I'm just not I don't have the villain arc anymore. I've come out the other end.
You've got into you've reached the same you've reached that same point that I reached a couple of years ago, where it's like I just do not have the energy to go out of my way to be antagonistic to very banal things.
I'm just too tired.
Yeah. There's more things that I need. Like, there are things I want to invest my energy in, and it's that energy battery is starting to dwindle a little bit as I get older. It's you know how when you buy a device and the battery's great in the beginning, and then the years go by, doesn't hold charge quite as well.
It's like year 2 of having an iPhone. Yeah.
But that battery runs out real quick.
No matter how much you close apps and you watch how often you put it on charge, by 4:00 you need to put that bad boy back on charge. There's no
God, I'm glad I moved over to the other one. love having a phone that I can charge every other day if absolutely necessary.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to moving back to the dark side. So yeah, good stuff. I know we joke about this a lot, and we're already getting into tangent territory, but I completed a video game last night. Cheers. Cheers. we have to celebrate these small wins in life.
Yeah, historic. Like if you don't know the Zane lore, he is notorious for buying video games and either never playing them or playing them for like an hour or two and then never picking them up, but like buying something else and never picking them up again. So it is a monumental achievement for him to have sat through a AAA game all the way through.
I can hear the applause out there. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much.
Put some applause in post, just fade it into the backgrounds.
Or cut 1A.
Cut to a scene of applause. We could do the Oscars or something like that, where everyone stands and gives the standing ovation. Yeah,
or like superimpose my face on like the Game Awards sort of thing.
Yeah, do it.
But yeah. And for those wondering, I finished God of War. Is it 2016, 2017?
2016, I think it was.
Yeah. So yeah, I finished that game. Add it to the backlog. Tick. Done.
Yeah, that's
move on
removed.
To the next one.
You can take it off the pile.
Yeah.
I'm concerned. You know how sometimes you hear stories about hoarders and they hoard like newspapers and they've got massive stacks, and then one day they won't be seen for weeks, and someone will go to the house and they're just found buried dead under a pile of like newspapers. Yeah, that's what I'm concerned about with your backlog. That one day we'll just find you like you'll be like engulfed by this massive pile of games.
You know what? Yeah, I think you're right. And the crazy thing is, like, I kind of did a little of a dungeon crawl into my garage, and I found like all my old walkthrough guides and stuff. And what surprised me is like there's quite a few that are still cellophaned because I never got around to playing that game. Like Zelda Skyward Sword.
Oh wow!
The walkthrough guide is still wrapped because the game because I never got around to playing because I didn't finish Wind Waker. So I was like, I'll start this till I finish Wind Waker.
I think you need to change your mentality. I think you need to change your mentality and be like, do I actually need? Do I want this game, and will I play this game? And then once you've answered both of those questions, the safe will unlock.
Yeah.
So sometimes you gotta put those like mimetic barriers in place for yourself. So it's like people. It's like often I'll be at the shops and I'll be like, I could really smash a share size bag of like chocolate or crisps or something like that, and then I have to stand there. I'm like, am I actually hungry? If I am hungry, have I had like a proper meal?
Yes.
And also, will I later regret spending the money? It's like
This is true. I think I've gotten better over the years because, like, at that point in my life, when Skyward Sword came out, I was like a menace for like the newest game. Oh my god, I need to be part of the hype.
you had less responsibilities in life, I think, at the time.
Yeah, more
Financially,
disposable
though.
income.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Now I do wait for things to come into sale unless it's like something I'm really into. So like,
What, like Monster Hunter Wilds?
well, I was thinking more Persona 3 Reloaded, but yeah. But Grand Blue Fantasy, I didn't get on launch day. I waited till the later part of the year to get it. So
I applaud your self-control.
yeah. It was worth the wait. Does that mean it's the next one on the backlog? Maybe.
Yeah, I think it should be because you didn't finish the first version of it.
The first version?
Oh, no, you're talking about Grand Blue, not Persona. Uh-oh. Accidentally called you out here on the podcast. Whoops.
My shame. My shame. For shame.
Yeah, I think that maybe Grand Blue. Or maybe, if you want, you can borrow God of War Ragnarok and just jump straight into that.
I don't know. I wasn't a fan of that combat. I feel like I need a break from it because I had to put it to easy just to kind of steamroll my way through because I wasn't jamming with it that much.
I sent my response to that last night when you said that you said your thoughts on the combat, so I'm not gonna like humiliate you here on the podcast.
But my PlayStation Wrap was really interesting. I played Destiny a lot more this year than I thought I had. So that was interesting.
I'm not going to talk about mine because I shouldn't be, but I am appalled by how many hours I spent playing video games this year. And it really does show the privileged position I'm in my life, in my family, in my relationship, that I'm able to put so much time into video games compared to my friends. But so I'm not going to even say a number or anything close to what my total playtime was. And we're going to talk about anime. And just quickly segue to a different topic.
Fair enough. We decided to do a bonus episode for two reasons. One, we did an episode yesterday and the audio may not be salvageable. So
Oops.
It's lucky that we had this bonus one booked in, but we thought it'd be great to do a sort of wrap of 2024, talk about some of our favorite things this year, anime moments, memes, all sorts of bits and pieces, news pieces, everything. So sit back, relax, and reminisce with us on 2024.
Let's reminisce. Let's just throw ourselves in. Great year.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, I don't have any complaints about the year generally. I didn't spend as much time watching anime as I would have liked, but what I did watch, I didn't come away from anything feeling like I'd wasted my time watching it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's what's crazy as well. This has been a very sort of, what's the word I want to use? It was very I tried to explore a lot more genres and tried to really get out of my comfort zone this year.
Oh, you got really exploratory this year.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I think that sums up real nicely. So yeah, I really try to dip my toe in as much new series, old series, things that I miss this year. So yeah, I'd say it's been a great year, fun year, and I think overall just crazy in a lot of ways as well. I'm just looking back at some of the things on my watch list. Windbreaker was on here, of course, Solo Leveling. What else have we got here? Is there any other sort of key anime that came out this year that sticks with you?
Oh, well, we had, of course, had Kaiju number 8. We had Ranger Rejects.
Yeah.
Free Ren. Was Free Ren this year, or was I late on the...
It was split into two parts. So part 1 started late 2023. Part 2 came into 2021. 2024, sorry.
Yeah, so like I didn't come into Free Ren until late, so 2024 was my Free Ren year. Masterpiece. Obviously, we got a new season of Bleach.
Yes.
We got Dan to Dan, and what a journey that's been for everyone. That's I've not seen praise for an anime like that in so long. Gosh, One Piece still trudges on.
Yeah, One Piece still changing the industry. So many returning. Black Butler, Blue Lock, of course, returned this year. We also had Sandland, the series. And I guess that kind of goes into, again, the works of Akira Toriyama sadly passing away.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Daima, of course, is still running at the moment.
Just continues without him. Just long may it continue.
But other things, Sword Art Online, Gun Gale 2 came back. Ice and Wolf came back this year, which is wild to think.
Yeah, it really has been like, I think we say this every single year, but there's really been like no better time to be a fan of anime as a form of media, because we're eating really, really well. Like, and you know, some people might not be as complimentary as we are. Generally, I know that a lot of people are very vocal about things that they don't like. But I think overall, the quality of things that are coming out now are the standard quality's gotten very, very good. I think now what we're looking for, we're looking for that standard to be like the baseline, and we're looking for things to really go beyond that, like Dan, like things like that. We're looking for things. Solo Leveling. That was also this year, wasn't it? I'm so bad with dates. Like,
yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like, overall, the quality, the standard is just upping up. So even, I'm trying to think of an example, but, you know, things like the Suicide Squad Isekai. Yes, it had like bad CGI animation at some points, but other points it had like really good action as well. So it has that kind of although it was very mid, it was still watchable in so many ways.
Yeah.
Anime,
I generally do think that like a mid anime is what some people want sometimes, though. Sometimes I don't want to watch a banger. Sometimes I just want to watch something easy
yeah,
that I can just like watch, and like, it's entertaining enough that I can watch it without having to like invest all my attention in it.
yeah. So earlier this year, I watched all of The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic, I think it was called.
Oh, I remember you mentioning, yeah.
I watched it dub, 12 episodes, literally watched it in a weekend, and it was fine. It was funny. It was good. It wasn't like anything to set my world on fire, like a free rent or high end quality animation,
Like Delicious in Dungeon or something like that.
Exactly. But it still was something I watched this year. B, I had a good time with it, regardless of quality.
I think it's possibly a take that some people might not like, but I don't think that every single thing that releases has to be a banger. It doesn't have to be. And I think that if everything came out and it was a banger, then that would get diluted, and we'd be needing everything to be even better than that, and it becomes harder and harder to kind of meet expectations. I think you need the base level, otherwise the good things do not seem as good. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah. You need that kind of beige food, or you know, a palate cleanser every now and again to kind of appreciate when, like you said, a banger does come around. Just so.
But yeah, 2024 overall, great year for anime. I mean, what was so? I guess this is really the crux of it, isn't it? What were your standouts?
Series wise, I do think back to Delicious in Dungeon. Not only was it a studio trigger, which we've gushed about plenty of times on the podcast, but it was again something completely out of my comfort zone. And the same with Ranma 1/2. I'm not into romance at all, but the combat and the comedy that Mappa have done with that, and the same with Delicious in Dungeon, is swiveled me like crazy. Like I am absolutely captivated by them. Kaiju number 8, I feel like it's almost like the forgotten child, because it came out at such a heightened point against. It didn't come out against Solo Leveling. I think it came out around the same time as JJK.
I'm just looking back through. I've got like the seasonal releases up here just to go back through it. I'm just trying to find.
Was it
Demon
Slayer?
I think it came up against Demon Slayer.
Yeah, I think, was it the springtime?
Yeah, I think it was spring. Yeah, it would have been spring that it came out.
So yeah, in some ways it kind of almost felt like it fell out of the zeitgeist a little bit, because Demon Slayer was there, My Hero came back, Jobless Reincarnation, Konosuba. So it almost felt like those popular shows, which had, you know, of course, they're in their X season, it almost felt like it fell down a little bit. But I felt like it was a great adaptation.
Yeah, I did as well. I understand. I know that there are a lot of people who weren't happy about it because,
character designs. Yeah.
Well, so that's the thing that I just don't get, because I've always considered the character design of the original, the base material of the manga, to be quite simplistic, and and in the anime, that's what we got, and I'm like, what were you expecting?
Yeah, I can see where the argument is. That's what, especially with that fan favorite Gen, I think it was, and his hair just looking like a pineapple. It just like had no movement or anything. But and I think we speculated at the time as well, because the character designs was done by the same person who did the Boruto anime as well. And it's quite simplistic in that we felt like it had
a knock-on effect because
yeah.
people were already jaded from that. So I feel like maybe it was a little bit overblown, perhaps.
A little bit.
But, people are entitled to their opinions.
This is true. So,
So,
what about you? Any standouts? Any great series that stick with you this year?
well, I guess Free Rent Part 2, absolutely incredible, changed my life. I started watching the series as a whole this year. I watched the first episode on recommendation from yourself and from Matt at Manga Attack. Watched the first episode, and then suddenly it was 3 a.m. and I was a handful of episodes deep. It's very rare these days that I start watching something and I become so heavily invested in it. To the point where I made a decision, which I very rarely make, which is usually I'll watch an anime, maybe I'll watch the first season, and then once the season ends, I'm kind of like, okay, gotta wait for the next season. I'm gonna go and read the manga now so I can continue the story. Have put my foot down with myself, and I have decided, with Free Ren, I want to see the story play out as a whole in the anime before I touch the manga. Because
Amazing.
I don't want to read ahead and to lose any of the joy that I'm getting from watching it. And it's very rare that happens because I'm a very prolific reader of manga and such. As a result, if I can get it in manga form, I will just go out and I'll read it up to date, or I'll read it in its entirety. And then often you'll find, the anime doesn't feel as good once you've read the base form again,
Yeah.
So yeah, Free Rent, absolutely incredible. Story-wise, art style, the voice acting was great, the action was great, just all of the writing. It was just, I could not fault it in any way. In the same way, same as you, Delicious in Dungeon. I was a little bit late on it again. I started watching it after I got very, very sick earlier in the year. And as a result of being sick, I was sleeping all day and I was on my own up all night. So I started watching Delicious in Dungeon, and I think I maybe watched the majority of it all in a single night because I could not sleep. And again, that's another situation where I don't often sit and binge series like that. I don't enjoy binging series. I feel like you get a bit desensitized to it if you try and watch it all in one go. Your attention starts to wane. But yeah, Delicious Dungeon was beautiful, and it did exactly what I know it's intended to do. It made me hungry all the time. Seeing the cooking scenes, seeing things. Dragon steak never looked better. As someone who was extremely hyped for solo leveling, so that was a big win for me.
Yeah.
Again, this is another one of those titles where I think that a lot of the diehard manhwa fans are gonna have been disappointed with it because the manhwa is just so beautiful. But again, I thought it was incredible. I thought it was really good.
I think they did a phenomenal job. And there was a lot stacked against them as well, because like you said, it had such a huge following, such a huge impact. And of course the hype around it as well. It's one thing to kind of generate hype around, this is going to be the next big thing. And, the anime is going to be so good. But then when it kind of delivers on that, and not just in the action sense and the look, and I remember earlier on when it was announced, there was rumors that they were going to use Japanese names instead of Korean names, but they've actually stuck to the Korean stuff now, which was really good. And something with all of the titles that we've just mentioned, Kaiju number 8, Free Ren, Solo Leveling, Delicious in Dungeon, the dub versions of all 4 of those have been phenomenal. Like,
Yeah.
again, all amazing performances.
Every single year, like the voice acting, the dubbed voice acting becomes more and more incredible. And as it's getting better, people are learning to do it better. And it's like, it's night and day compared to the sort of like 4Kids entertainment, like VOs we used to have when we were growing up. It's like, now it's like, it's taken so seriously, and it's like, they're not expected to deliver the line word for word. It's like they're given the script and what it means, and they're like, okay, well, would it sound better if I said it like this? And they're allowed to like kind of engage with it and like workshop it.
Yeah.
And also it probably helps that like a lot of the VOs that are coming out now, and they have like this great like social media presence as well, and it's like they're you start learning to like really like the content that they're making, not in character and stuff. And like I like it when they like show footage from them in the booth, like workshopping workshopping lines. Is like when Solo Leveling was being recorded and it was coming up to that final episode where he would use the titular like arise line, and Alec put out that post of him saying like, this is me workshopping what I'm gonna say, and it was like stuff like wakey and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's amazing to see them have that fun, and also, like you say, raise their profiles as well, because now I'm getting more familiar with his work, not only from Solo Leveling. You know, he's been in the latest episodes of Dan. Persona 3, we know him from now. Even in the gacha games as well, all these voice actors are in these gacha games like Zoneless Zen Zero or Honkai Star Rail and stuff. So yeah, it is really, really cool. But one other thing I just wanted to mention on the subject is that some of these shows, they've been doing dub the same week the episode comes out.
Yes.
So Delicious in Dungeon, I'm pretty sure Kaiju number 8 did as well. And the fact that they can turn around these amazing dubs the same week is just phenomenal.
Yeah, there's just such a drive for it now, and I think it's just generally because anime got such a lift during COVID lockdown.
Yeah.
As a result of that, there's more demand for the dub to be as present as the sub, because there are going to be a lot of people who picked up anime for the first time or seriously during that time period who aren't going to want to read subtitles, but do want the episode. They want to enjoy the episodes more or less at the same time as everyone else. And I suppose that the media outlets that are putting out have to now appreciate, you know, we can't have spoilers getting out to the people who aren't going to get to watch it until the dub comes out. It's kind of like, they got to like, I think it's probably like an unintentional thing, but it's like, I think that there's like a lot of like, that's a customer care thing, an unintentional one, you know?
Yeah, I think there's an element of while the property's hot as well, to kind of get that dub out, which I can appreciate, because again, for those that are dub watchers, the last thing they want to do is wait 6 weeks to find out why it's the best thing, and you know, and be
no one likes coming
behind
into
the
something
curve.
late when they don't want to be late.
Exactly. And miss out on the conversation and stuff. So yeah, I'm really happy that they're able to do that with these more popular ones again, like Dan. I just feel like I don't know. I don't want to get to a point where it's just too much pressure to do everything week on week.
Yeah.
Because there's so much coming out at any given time. But it would be good if there was, I guess, the top stuff.
Yeah, you want the outlets that are putting this out and arranging for the dubs to happen to be conscious of what is popular, like at least like what is like trending, I guess.
Yeah,
because like you certainly wouldn't want like an episode of something that is good but not like anime of the season. It's not like an award winner, like coming out before like something that could, like, you wouldn't want like something coming out before like an episode of Dan to Dan, or when it was coming out Delicious in Dungeon. Like those are the things that people are really interested in right now and stuff. So hey, shall we segue just a little bit, because we've been talking about all this good. Do you want to talk about some of the controversy? The bad stuff that came to light. And I feel like the bad stuff mostly came to light in the last 6 months.
Go lead the way.
Well, I would be remiss not to talk about things like PNG log.
Yeah.
What's going on there? What's going on, guys? What's going on?
Gosh, yeah. There's definitely been some questionable moves. Because Blue Lock has suffered.
Uzumaki,
yeah. What a wild.
Uzumaki got hung out to dry on episodes 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
Ninja Kamui comes to mind.
Yeah.
Ninja Kamui had like literally the most mind-blowing first episode of like ninjas attacking and it's beautifully animated because it was one of the directors behind season 2 of JJK. So it had like amazing animation. And then there's like a turning point where it just becomes a 3D CG series. And you're just kind of like, why? How did we get here?
And I would like to put out there, it's like, I think it's fine to adapt with like the changing technology and stuff, because ultimately it will allow people to do things that they've been unable to do historically. It's like 100%. If we look at things like we look at the last couple of Dragon Ball Z movies. It's like we started with one which was all anime until the final fight scene, and then it became like basically the graphics from the video games. Yeah. And then in the more recent movie, they did the whole thing in that kind of like cell shaded, like animated anime graphics. Yeah. And that worked really well. It was really well integrated, and I had no problem with it. But I think it's when it's like you have like really jarring things where it's very beautifully animated, and then all of a sudden it is just so much like CGI put in there, and you can tell it's been put there because it's easier, but there's the level of like care isn't there. Yeah.
It doesn't. There's a terminology for it. I can't remember if it's blended or something, but it literally, the 3D model pops compared to the background. Like crazy. Again, Suicide Squad, Isekai did that. And I'm trying to think that there's definitely something else. I think it was Failure Frame. Did it horrendously. But there are some great examples of where 3D works really well. And again, I think even something like Demon Slayer have used it from time to time. But they've taken time, quality, and care to kind of make sure it doesn't pop too much and blends in nicely.
Yeah, but I think I do think that like what is happening with animation in some animes in the current time is starting to make people ask questions about how sustainable the business is in its current, or the industry is in its current form. Because you have to start questioning, is like, is this lazy work, or is it that they're being asked to do much more than their budget is capable of? Which is what I feel like we've been seeing with things like Blue Lock, in that like you have like a couple of really banger episodes where everything is like animated great, or you have a great first season where everything is animated perfectly. They have now a much higher demand for a quality product, but it's like, in the current economic climate, they can't get the money they need to do that. So it's like, we're going to have to cut down. We're going to have to make cuts somewhere.
Yeah.
And stuff.
I remember there may still be a documentary on Netflix because it was all about Netflix anime series and stuff. And they visited one studio, and one studio said that they're using 3D CG, like you say, not only from a cost perspective, but a time-saving sort of perspective as well. Because once they make the character models, that's it. They can use them 100 times. All they got to do is just reshape the pose and stuff. So, yeah, it's... As fans, we all want better for the industry. We want more, better conditions for these workers and stuff. We don't want them to kind of get pigeonholed because the demand is so high that they have to result into, like you say, cutting corners and result into visuals that aren't as appealing. But yeah, it's a tricky one.
And I believe that the documentary you're referring to was that Enter the Anime?
I think it was, yeah. Because
it came out in like 2019. That is quite old now, but
yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, because I think it was all leading up to some series like, I think Cannon Busters was in there, and maybe one that comes to mind is Ultraman.
Yeah, Cannon Busters, Ultraman. I'm just looking through the thing. You know how they will, IMDb will recommend stuff based on what you're looking at. It's like got Cannon Busters. It's got like the begin, what is it called? Be the Beginning.
Yes. Yeah.
Stuff like that is all being recommended there. So yeah. Animation aside, though.
Mm-hmm.
Animation aside, have we had any other real controversies?
Real controversies. I remembered there was a document leaked, I want to say towards the end of the summer, and it had like wild speculations on it. And a part of me kind of wonders if half of those prophecies came true. Because I remember the Blue Lock one on there. So that comes to mind. Just trying to think of any others.
So when I'm looking into things right now, and it's like it's giving for 2024. It's animes that have disappointed people, not really the industry itself.
Okay, yeah.
So that's not really what I'm into. But it's like, there's things like season 3 of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime is more talking than action.
Yes, I remember that.
I'm just looking through this just now.
People said something similar about Demon Slayer, the Hashira training. Like, it was...
The New Gates gave a mediocre performance for a pretty decent isekai manga. I'm just going through it just now.
Yeah.
Monster apparently lacks originality and charm.
I can see that.
Metallic Rogue became unbearable in the end.
Oh, that, talk about a fall off. That was so sensational in the beginning, and then it turns. I can't even describe it. It really hurt me.
Buchigiri was outshined by Windbreaker.
Yes, yeah, in the year of delinquent boys fighting. Windbreaker was definitely the king in that fight.
Yeah, those are the 10 that were given in this list I was just looking at. But there will have been others. Like, you have to know that like Blue Lock's going to be on there, on someone's list. There's like you said, the Hashira training arc. I imagine also there's going to be people controversy about the fact that like Demon Slayer keeps putting out these movies that aren't actually movies. It's just the last 2 episodes and the first new episodes. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, yeah.
But again, people don't seem to be realizing that that's what they're going to watch. They're going thinking they're going to watch a whole episode, like a whole new thing. And I don't understand because it's pretty clear in the trailers what it is.
It's in the trailers. I know some people purposely avoid trailers, so I get that. But it's in the poster artwork, and it's also in the synopsis of when you go to book your tickets.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's probably on the side of the lighter side of controversies this year. I'm sure that there's been more like social controversies, but we'll keep it light here. We won't go into like that sort of stuff here. If you're interested in that sort of thing, you can go to the old internet and find out stuff about that, about certain actors being recast and stuff. But yeah, I think it's been on the lighter side. I think overall 2024 has been a pretty good year. We've had more highs than lows.
Yeah, we've definitely had a lot more great stuff to watch. I was just having a quick look at what was on my watch list. Elusive Samurai.
Oh.
Started off really hot. Completely forgot about that one. We forgot about My Dear Friend Nokotan, which had the viral song as well.
Yes.
What
a banger.
Yeah, fantastic. So yeah, and again, there was so many sort of underrated ones as well, like Wisteria Wand and Shield, which we gushed about.
It's just like there's just like peak trash fantasy anime, and I joked, I made jokes about you on the podcast of all places as well for so long about how much you love this anime, and I tried the first episode and I was like, fuck, I hate it. I hate that I've immediately loved this.
It's fantastic. What can I say? I've talked about it on previous episodes. Check those episodes out because although I love a trash anime, sometimes they hit. Again, my own sort of personal journey into Overlord, Black Clover this year, Seven Samurai. There was so much old stuff that I kind of rewatched and revisited.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Recreator was amazing. So yeah.
It's like, not only is it a great time for new anime, it's also a great time to, watch that old anime again, as I have been so inclined to do, instead of watching anything on my watch list.
Weird side projects like Monster 103 Mercenaries, the One Piece sort of old
fan letter, and
there's this fan letter. Yeah, there was the it was about the samurai who Zoro got his sword from. Is it Renoko? Trying to think of his name. The guy who defeated a dragon, and he's got like a cursed blade or something.
So we had Monsters 103 Mercies Dragon Damnation.
Yeah.
Is that the one? That the one we're talking
That's the
about?
one, yeah. Yeah.
I have not seen this. Do you recommend?
For One Piece fans, 100%. It's on Netflix. It's only 20 minutes long. It was like the first thing that particular studio did, because it was a brand new studio who went on to do Ninja Kamui and Bullet, which is a car thing. But yeah, it's phenomenal, and Zoro makes a cameo at the end.
Nice, great voice actor cast, like great dub casts. You got like Ray Chase, you've got like Robbie Damon's, Brianna Knickerbocker. It's a lot of good names in the industry. So
again, for those One Piece fans, they'll absolutely love it. I'm not huge into One Piece. I'm too far behind to understand all the nuances, but I still enjoyed it because it was fantastic. Samurai fighting a dragon. So yeah, I highly recommend it.
Wonderful. I think I think closing out 2024, I'm pretty happy with how things have gone.
Me too.
The world itself, not great, but anime's still good. It's still never been a better time to be a fan of anime.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Be sure to lock in and follow here on the podcast because we've got a ton of recommendations and we love to chat about anime. So make sure to be part of this discussion and leave a comment, leave your recommendations. And again, make sure to subscribe and give us a star rating on your favorite podcast platform. Susie Day, I feel like I'm wrapping up. Any other final thoughts, any final words on 2024 anime?
I don't really have any final words on 2024 anime. Just, guys, it's been a great year. Been a great year anime-wise. Get out there. Use your Christmas breaks to consume food as well as take some time. Maybe you got some downtime to start something new. Maybe make your New Year's resolution to get through your backlog, as I hope to do. But as this is just generally, obviously. But as the year comes to a close, very privileged to be here, Zane.
Oh, yeah.
So, and thanks to all the listeners who actually put up with the rants.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to our thoughts, being part of the discussion again. We see the comments on YouTube and on podcast platforms and sometimes emails in. So yeah, any questions, be sure to drop an email. Again, that'll be in the description down below. And we appreciate every single one of you who take the time to listen, to maybe even fight back on some of our hot takes. So yeah, thank you for taking the time. And I'm looking forward to 2025. There's so much new stuff that's going to come, so many sequels and new series. And I'm looking forward to more. So be sure to, again, stick with us as we'll have tons more recommendations in the new year and so much more news because we've got the Crunchyroll Awards right round the corner before we know it. And I hope you all have a great winter festive season.
Have a good one, guys.
Thanks for your time. Bye.